Alright, one take Andy here, let's go. Dude, Season 5, man. I really didn't see this video going this way when I was initially thinking about this whole season. I was excited for Season 5. I thought it would bring some new stuff, make it a little bit interesting, but I gotta say, dude, I got to play it a little bit early yesterday, and I know I'm a little bit late to the party. Y'all probably already seen all the new stuff, the new maps, new guns, new gadgets, new weapons, and all that stuff. I kind of want to give it to some time to, like, take it all in, and so I can, because I gotta say, I was a little bit let down, so I gotta kind of, like, recuperate my thoughts. Give it a day. Let me take it all in, see, you know, how it would work in the grand scheme of things, and then I would make a video. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're going to cover everything that's new in the final season 5, everything that was at least presented to us. There was no patch notes or anything that they gave us to look through. We're going to get all that information upon the release of season 5. And then I'm also going to talk about the stuff that's in season 5. So let's get right into it. First of all, the release date is going to be December 12th, coming up in the next few days. But actually, first of all, before I even get into that, I learned through one of Big Fry's videos recently that I need to technically disclose that this is a sponsored video, that even if I receive a beta code to a early access event, that is technically being sponsored by Embark. So huge thank you to Embark for sponsoring this video through means of giving me a beta key. I appreciate that a lot. I even gave out a bunch of keys and codes to other people in our community in the Discord, link down below if you want to join that, maybe for next time that it happens. We also play weekly if you want to come check that out. Anyways, getting back to the topic, December 12th is when it releases. That's here in the next few days. It comes with a new map, new weapons, new gadgets. I'm going to cover the new map first. Actually, you know what? In editing, I'm probably going to move this part ahead of the map area and talk about it because people are probably more interested about the guns, and I probably have a lot more to say about the guns than anything else. So editing me is moving this up ahead of time. In the new season 5 of the finals, we have 2 weapons. Even though we have 3 classes in the game, we only have 2 new weapons in the game that are considered game-changing and quote-unquote game-changing. And they're called the Shack 50 for the heavy class and the Cerberus 12A, which is a 2-shot assault rifle and a 3-shot Dragon's Breath shotgun for the medium class, respectively. Both these guns, both the released game-changing weapons, are really weird, and they are not standard issue guns by any means. They both have different weird quirks to them. I'll just start with the heavy class. If you imagine this big old blob right here is the heavy class, you know, really quite fitting. This is the top-down view, and he's shooting out this direction, right? His gun, whenever you shoot the Shack 50, just pretend like this is the Shack 50, his gun, he's shooting it, right? Normal gun shoots out a gun or a bullet like this, correct? It shoots a bullet, it goes in a straight line. The Shack 50 is really weird in that it shoots 2 bullets right here. If you imagine like your crosshair is this tiny dot right here, right? That's your crosshair. The bullets go to the left and the right of the crosshair. It doesn't go to the center. That's why it's really weird, but they don't, here's the quirk of it. They don't go in a straight line. This is obviously for the balancing aspect of it to make it worse at longer range. This is a really weird aspect of the gun. The bullets go off to the side, kind of like when Deadpool is splitting the bullet in half with his sword. They go off like this, and you're aiming right here in the middle, right? So if you're aiming at an opponent, I'm just going to put a small little circle for here for the light class, and you're aiming at his head, your bullets could technically split the light class if you're far enough range from him. And if you're like medium range, only one of those bullets are going to hit the head. So that's why if you're using this gun, it's really weird, because if you're a precise gunplay type guy and you're always aiming for the head, which is definitely me, by the way, then this gun is going to feel weird and awkward for you because you're aiming for the head and only one of the bullets are hitting for you. You're going to notice several times, like I noticed during the early access, that it just seems like it's not doing enough damage. Like at one point it'd be doing more damage than other points, and that's because like only one of the bullets are hitting, especially if you're aiming for the head. So if you're using this gun and you're like a precise headshot type guy, you're not going to like this gun. Either that or you just got to aim for the body. The second gun we have is the Cerberus 12A, which is like the Dragon's Breath shotgun for the medium class. It's the triple shot, triple bullet in the chamber. You have 3 shots of 3 pellets, I guess is the way. No, wait. You have 3 shots of 3 barrels in this gun, which shoots out kind of like a shotgun, just like the model does as well, except the little quirk of this gun is that it also ignites. So I guess you could technically set a forest fire in Kyoto with this gun alone. It does some tick damage. I didn't notice it doing much damage alone by itself. I even went into the range. I'm probably putting it right now, and I was testing the damage that it has and how long it takes to kill a medium class, dude. It took forever, man. You have to shoot your 3 bullets in the chamber and then reload, which takes another like 2-3 seconds, and then shoot another one just to take out a medium class. This gun, like, unless you're like up close and personal, which is like you're not gonna be that. You're a medium class. You don't have invisibility. You don't have dash. You don't have grapple. There's no way you're getting up close and personal unless the light class comes up to you and gives you a kiss. This gun really ain't gonna be doing much damage because you're the average distance gunfight, which is what I was testing in the range by itself. It doesn't kill. Like you have to. It doesn't kill in one clip or magazine, quote unquote magazine, because you have to reload at this average distance. I don't know. It's really weird. In fact, this was the first weapon that I used. I was kind of the most excited for this one. I used it at the very beginning. I switched off within 5 minutes. In the same game, I switched off because it was like that bad. I really didn't enjoy it. In fact, this kind of leads me to my thoughts on the whole new weapons in season 5. It very gracefully as well. I noticed towards the end of the play session, I was watching some people play, and I was watching people in the Discord play. A lot of the people in the early access session were switching off of the new weapons. They were all going back to the meta classes. Dude, the early access wasn't even over, and people were swapping off the new guns. It was like, you would think that this is early access. We have a limited time amount of time that people would get as much gameplay as they can with the new weapons, but they weren't that bad. I guess I don't want to call them bad, because here's the thing: none of these weapons shocked me. None of these weapons wowed me, and I don't think I'm not like one for meta in the finals, quote unquote meta. Like, what's the ranked meta type thing? That's not me. I don't know that stuff. But like, compared to even all the guns that I use in a casual sense, right? Like AK, the light class, the M11, I've been using a lot. Heavy class, I never play heavy. That thing moves like a slug. But none of the weapons, like, I would rather play with the AK than I would play with the Cerberus. I would rather play with the model than I would play with the Cerberus. None of these guns are replacing any of the other guns. They're really underwhelming, is kind of the way I put it. So do with that what you will. Embark really went with a safe path with these new weapons, as they usually always do, except for last season. They made a lot of changes last season that kind of like changed up the meta. This season, the weapons aren't changing the meta that much, at least in the current state. We are going to Mexico. It is called Bernal, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that a little bit. It's located in Mexico, and the color palette is a lot different, and the style is a lot different than any of the previous maps, except you will probably notice a lot of the environment and the play style of the map. The flow of the map is very familiar to other maps that we've had in it, even though the palette is much different. This is from Embark. They say it's a magical town set in the shadow of the awe-inspiring Pena de Bernal. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly again. One of the largest monoliths in the world. I know this is like a historical and like a touristic attraction. This is like a little piece of their culture. I know that. I just don't know quite what it is. I'm just not really quite familiar with the city. The arena blends rich culture with the show-stopping dynamism of the finals. Traverse a narrow, and this is key point, narrow cobblestone streets of its colorful Colonel Plaza, which serves as a map's heart. So kind of like Monaco, but for Mexico's Bernal. And the reason why I stress the narrow aspect of it and the cobblestone aspect of this map is because it is definitely narrow. It is a very narrow map that has a lot of different buildings, a lot of different corridors, a lot of different windows and places that people can hide in. It's like, if you think of Sis Horizon, it is pretty much the very exact opposite of that, and it is very big. It is, I think, probably the biggest map that we have in the finals, other than maybe the Las Vegas, maybe, but it is very big. So definitely, if you play this in like the 3 teams map, it's going to feel very boring. But if you play in the normal maps with quick cache, I think it is, with two separate cache outs and cache stations, then it might be a little bit more playable and digestible. I didn't quite have enough time with the map to kind of get a feel of it and how it plays and how it will play. Is it a good map? It is a bad map. It looks cool, interesting. I'm just not really a fan of very tight, narrow areas in a kind of a fast-paced arena shooter such as the finals itself. So kind of did feel weird to me, but I was seeing a lot of people that, you know, kind of love the map. This might end up being like Kyoto, where Kyoto was like awesome on paper. It played really cool. It looked really cool on the early access, but then we got our hands on it, and the map, that map sucked. So the map was kind of decent. The weapons were really underwhelming. How were the gadgets? The gadgets, dude, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even realize I was getting hit by the freaking Lockbolt launcher, and I was like, what the frick is this ability, dude? I couldn't find it in the game, and I didn't realize it was a heavy gadget until the play session was already over, and I had to, like, I was like, all right, it's too late. So I don't have any footage of it, but it's one of these things that you shoot at the ground and it kind of tethers people into its environment, kind of like Deadlock from Valorant. If you play Valorant at all, that's basically what it does. It tethers them to the environment. Or Fade from the environment. I don't know how I forgot that, as being a Turkish dude. Fade has the very same exact ability in the game. So there's that Lockbolt launcher, which looks very useful actually in the meta. I will say the Lockbolt launcher is one of the very few things that, like, probably, and the Gravity Vortex. I'm gonna be honest, like, I didn't see the Gravity Vortex being that useful in the game, especially considering it's on the light class. But I could see it having a place in the rank meta, just depending on how the team will play. Which, by the way, I should probably explain what the Gravity Vortex is. Think of it as a gravity cube from the heavy class, except instead of pulling everything up and doing anti-gravity, it pulls everything to the center and acts as a horizontal. From Apex Legends, if you guys have played that as well. I know I'm comparing a bunch of different abilities to different games, but that's basically what they are. Embark takes a lot of inspiration from different games. That's how it works. That's what Gravity Vortex is. I can see it having a place in ranked, depending on how your team, or not ranked, sorry, in like competitive. If you're playing with a team in Discord, you're playing with people that you know how they're gonna play. You guys have a certain play style. I can see this having a place, but in rank, this is kind of like, am I really gonna be the guy that plays objective and just like waits while my team goes out and just rushes the enemy team and dies, and me being left with this gravity vortex cube? I don't know, but it's still pretty valuable. Both these abilities and gadgets are pretty useful. Out of everything in season 5, these are like the only things that are like, okay, that like actually kind of wowed me, and it's these abilities. The weapons were a letdown, but the gadgets at least made up for it, which is going to be interesting. And I'm telling you, mark my words right now, dude, people are going to be pissed at season 5 when it fully like takes its place in like 2-3 weeks. People are going to get annoyed by the abilities and the gadgets. Mark my words, dude, these abilities are going to shake up things. Another really cool aspect that they added to the game is called clubs. This is where like kind of like, think of it like a Discord server, but like in game, where you can kind of sign up for a club, and then people in that club can, you know, you can send out a ping to everyone in that club, whoever's online, like, hey, I'm looking for a team and you want to squad up type deal. That's really cool. It's a nifty little feature. I'm setting up my own club. We did one in the early access. We're going to do one when the game releases. Make sure to sign up for that. It's going to be called Goofy Goobers, for the SpongeBob reference. So definitely check that out. Join us. The cool thing about this, though, that I realized like after the whole play session, the early access thing, is that I realized that there's actually like challenges and little XP boosts that you can get. You can earn extra XP. You can get more fans by competing as a team in part of your club. You have little walls to like compete against each other, little leaderboards and stuff. It's really cool. It's a cool little community challenge type thing. So there's one reason as well to sign up. As well with that, there's also new sponsors in the game. This season we're going to be seeing Via, Dyson, I'm calling it Dyson, Bite Me, and Isolt, all with their different respective drips. You can check them out. Something else that kind of flew under the radar that I didn't see anybody pick up on this, but there's gonna be a new game mode that's introduced with season 5 as well, kind of like for the holiday seasons. They didn't do this last year, and I was really upset about it, but they're doing it this year. There's a snowball blitz where people compete in a 5v5 snowball fight. That's basically what it is, a team deathmatch with snowballs. It's really cool. Valorant does this with like their little snowball shooter thing, and the finals is doing it with snowballs. It's pretty cool. Look out for that. Out of all things, I'm more excited about that. So thank you, Embark, for actually putting something that's casual friendly. Thank you. Another huge change that nobody picked up on is that they're introducing a wave spawn system in Quick Cache to reduce the long respawn times and keep teams together. So you know how like when you die and then like 10 seconds later another teammate of yours dies, you guys spawn at different times. Well, now they're going to make it so everybody spawns at the same time, even if you die at separate times and there's like one teammate left alive. That's what they do. It's wave spawns. It's really cool that way, which is a long overdue feature that should have been in the game a while ago. I thought this was in the game previously, and I didn't realize that it was an update in season 5. But in Quick Cache, you now have in-round loadout swapping. I was doing it in the early access, but I didn't realize that this is a new season 5 thing. So be on the lookout for that in Quick Cache. I don't know if they're going to do this in rank. You can change your loadouts, which is thank you. This is one of the most annoying things. In fact, one of the reasons why I didn't even play Quick Cache, because you can't change your loadouts during power shift, especially if I'm doing challenges, dude. And for those of you console players, which is a huge portion of the player base, rejoice because Embark has shown some love for console players this season. PS5, PS5 Pro, Xbox Series X players can now use 120 gigahertz. Yes, 120 hertz capable TVs, so you can play the game at a much better refresh rate. That is, if your TV/monitor supports it. So rejoice, console players. With that, make sure to subscribe and smash the like button like a heavy class jumping off a cliff with a charge and slam.